Hello, my name is Sherman Haywood Cox II of soulpreaching.com. I want to thank you for coming to look at this video. In this video, we're going to do a high-level overview of how to write a sermon. It's it's going to be a very high level overview because this is a very in-depth question. And actually the whole website soulpreaching.com addresses this particular question. But here we're going to look at some of the major processes that we must go through if we're going to put together an effective sermon. The first thing that we're going to have to do is sermon planning. Sermon planning. Here is where you determine the themes and ideas that need to be addressed in your particular congregation. So we're going to do some sort of sermon planning. Out of it will come themes and ideas that need to be addressed in your particular congregation. These are things that are going to be in the back of your mind as you are exegeting the text. You are looking for these particular themes and ideas because they must and need to be addressed in your congregation. Some preachers do this once a year. Some preachers do it more often. But sermon planning, out of that, then we go into our Bible interpretation or exegesis, whatever you want to call it. Here we are actually interpreting the Bible to get an understanding of the biblical text in light of these particular themes and ideas which are in the back of our minds. We're going to see the Bible address these. Out of that is going to come an understanding of the text. So number one, you're going to do some sort of sermon planning. Number two, you're going to do the biblical exegesis, biblical interpretation, which, a highfalutin way of saying that is biblical exegesis. But then the next process is your sermon construction. Here you've got an understanding of the text. Now you need to construct the sermon out of that understanding. And there's three. That's the third process. And this is the one that many people are looking at. But it's dependent upon a solid sermon plan as well as a solid exegesis. Then you're going to be able to construct a sermon. Sermon construction is going to include an introduction that's going to grab the hearer, a body which is going to present the concepts that you have found, as well as a conclusion, which is where you're going to summarize, bring it all together. There is also going to be a sermon title. These are some of the things where you are basically restructuring this understanding of the text that you've come up with in light of these themes to come up with this sermon, a sermon. Now, each of your sermon is going to have a major theme, which is what is it addressing, and you're going to address that through these title, introduction, body, and conclusion. And that is how you're going to the third process. How do you do that? Once again, I would encourage you to go to soulpreaching.com. We actually have a free ebook that's that will help in that, as well as some of these other processes. Then after that, you are ready to preach. So this is, out of that is going to be an outline or a manuscript, depending on how you preach. Then you're going to preach or present it to your people. So how do you write a sermon? This is the fourth major process. You definitely want to have some solid planning. Make sure you're addressing the correct themes. You want to do biblical interpretation so that you are have an understanding of the particular text that you are interpreting. I didn't talk about it, but it's important to also, in your sermon planning, you're going to have themes, ideas, and also beginning text that may address your particular themes. But biblical interpretation is going to verify that that is correct. The themes you have chosen can be addressed by the text. You're going to have a solid understanding. You're going to turn that into a sermon outline or manuscript, and then you're going to preach that to your people. If I want to thank you for coming to this video once again. If this has been helpful to you, please come to soulpreaching.com to find other resources just like this one. God bless you and keep on preaching.